demo of the TruckCheck app developed by Firehouse Labs. We've received quite a significant amount of feedback regarding efficient methods to do truck checks, and some of the platforms that exist on the market today tend to be a little bit financially prohibitive for volunteer brigades. So we set out to solve that problem and basically make this process as easy to manage and smooth for volunteer members to actually conduct the truck checks physically. So we've created the truck check platform. You can see here we've got our login page. So we've got Magic Link login. So you can just put in your email address and get your validation link, and then just tap on that and the app will open and be authenticated for you. Obviously email and password, and also the sign up. So the sign up process supports creating a new brigade that doesn't already exist in the system. It also supports people joining an existing brigade that has already been created. So we can see in this case, if we just fill this out, uh, put in some fake details here and we'll select an organization. So if we start typing in a brigade name, it'll look up in the system to find which brigades exist. So if someone tries to create your brigade and it already exists, it's not going to create a duplicate brigade in the system. So in this case, we can select the test brigade and we set our password. And basically what will happen here is that the administrators of this brigade will be sent an email notifying them that someone has requested to join the brigade, and they can approve or decline that request from there. So if we request to join, obviously you see we just get a message back saying that this has been received and your account's been created and whatnot. If we jump back over now into here, we can see that to the administrators an email has gone out, and it's got the join request here, which you can then review the join request. So if we go into our brigade settings, we'll see that we've now got a pending join request for Joe Smith, and we can approve that and set his role as well. So if we approve that, we can see Joe Smith's now a member of our brigade. A couple of settings in here, and obviously the subscription settings, and there's also user settings as well, so you can control which emails you receive and all of that kind of stuff, as you would expect. A little bit of a dashboard, vehicle count, inspections, open actions. We've got a schedule feature, so you can actually set your checks to be on a recurring schedule and be notified if that falls overdue, which is something that may be quite important, particularly during fire seasons and whatnot. The first step to getting started is to create your vehicles. So you can see we've got 2 test vehicles here. If we come into this particular vehicle, we've got some details about it. We can see a history of inspections that are associated with this vehicle. We can start an inspection. We can edit the vehicle as admins. We can also create new vehicles. So we've got some vehicle types that are defined by the organisation in which you belong to. This is taking from some CFA stuff, and then we can basically create that new vehicle. Obviously, the next step is then creating your inspection templates. So you can see we've got a couple of samples in here. One feature that we've added to the platform that you can see here is the public access. So basically what we're doing is generating a really unique URL that can't be guessed and spitting that out as a QR code. So you could basically print this out and stick it in the cab of your truck, and then basically users can scan that with their own personal devices. So I could come along with my phone and scan the QR code without even signing into the platform. I can then complete that inspection on that vehicle that's associated with that QR code. So it kind of removes some of that friction. I'm aware with some of the other products in the market that they're limited by authenticated devices, they're limited by user counts and things like that. That's obviously something that serves as a pretty significant blocker for brigades. So one way to combat that is to allow this public access to the inspection. This can obviously, of course, be toggled and turned off. So if we just copy this URL and we go back to our user that's not authenticated, you can see here, basically we can now start doing this inspection. Actually, we'll just log out because we did have a login token for that user. So if we go back as a public user, We request their name so we know who did the inspection, and then they can pick the appliance, and then they can start their public inspection this way and submit that. As administrators of the brigade, you'll be notified that that inspection's been completed publicly. And then we can obviously build out our checks. So there's probably some more polish to go into this, but as a basic level, you can see we have our sections. So cabin, NS1, and then we've added items in here. We've got response types that we can select from of how we want the user to answer the question during the inspection. We can mark it as required, and we can also have some failure logic. So you may require a photo of something if it's broken or failed, or you could require comment or notes as well. So you can basically just build out your template here. I'm also just looking at leveraging some AI to basically take a photo of an existing paper inspection and be able to automatically generate that to try and help brigades, come over onto the platform from their existing paper inspections, or if they're using another software platform to export that as a PDF and be able to upload that and have it automatically regenerate your inspections templates. So then we've got our inspections, obviously, so you can see there's an inspection history here. We've got a score, the vehicle and whatnot. I can do a new inspection directly from here, so I can choose my vehicle. We'll just use our test template. So we'll start that inspection. So then you can see we've obviously got a progress bar. We can pass or fail these items. Obviously, when I go fail, I have to put in a reason. So, some reason goes here. And then we can move on to our BA, which passes, and we can complete that inspection. So obviously what's happened now is that you'll see, if we just refresh our little inbox here, we can see here that inspection was completed. So this has gone out to the administrators, and it's given us a bit of a overview, 50% score, the siren failed. And then we've got a link to be able to go and view that full inspection report, which we can see here. So this is our inspection report. You'll be able to export these to PDF and whatnot if required. But we can see that inspection report sitting there, and we can go back to some of these other ones and see basically what happened in those inspections. If something fails, it will generate an action item in the system. So you can see here from the one that we just did, some reason goes here. So this item has failed. We can jump in here and we can see the action details. So siren on the tanker one, it's open. We can link back to the inspection that this action was generated from, and then we can do some actions from here. So we can change the status of it. We can assign it to one of our other users. We can set a due date. We can add some resolution notes and things like that, and that will obviously spit out your timeline and track where you're at with that particular fault. So we can see this one's been resolved and sits in the system there. So you can basically filter these, as necessary and whatnot. As I said, there's the ability to schedule inspections as well. So you can see we've got a scheduled inspection for our tanker one, and it's using the test inspection template. We're going to do that weekly on a Sunday, so it's due in 4 days. So if someone does this on a Saturday or a Sunday, it will update that schedule and then obviously go back to being due in 7 days. These are pretty straightforward, obviously, as you would expect. We've tried to sort of encompass most of the logic that you would expect to be able to set something recurring and things like that. Day of the month, weekly, daily, etc. So just something that might help brigades stay on top of their compliance and their inspections, and also obviously report back to the BMT or the administrators or the management group, whoever it may be, that those inspections are either getting completed or not getting completed. Obviously, using paper-based solutions, we have to go and look at the paper physically at the station to see if those checks have been done and identify any matters or actions arising from those. In some other software solutions that I'm aware of, there isn't really a scheduling feature, and unless you pay, for some significantly premium package. So at the moment, we're realistically looking somewhere around the $12 to $16 a month mark for the platform, and also looking at potentially branching out to some other inspection fields as well. So potentially things like hoses and hydrants, and being able to do all your inspections on those in one platform that's really tailor built, for the environment that we operate in performing these kind of truck check inspections. So that's where we're at today, obviously. Still some polish and some work to go into various aspects. It is, effectively, as you've seen, fully functional in terms of being able to, add appliances and create those templates and create inspections and all of that kind of stuff. And that core workflow is fully intact. So obviously, the next phase from here will be, probably another week or so, tidying some things up and making sure everything's good, and then potentially looking at doing some beta testing in the field with some real brigades and some real trucks, to really cement the features and make sure that it's user friendly. I said, we're really sort of excited about the public inspection ability, and removing some of that friction for brigades in what they can do, and getting away from some of those lock-in device specific limitations that exist with other platforms on the market. So that's TruckCheck, and we'll have some more information available soon.